Very excited to be joined now by the former California Golden Bear, now on the back end of Atlanta's defense. It's Jaylinn Hawkins. Jalen, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great, blessed. I can't complain, man. I can't complain, man. Thank you for having me on the show, man. It's an honor.
Yeah, of course. I'm really excited that you're hopping on, and obviously, it's kind of a big upcoming year for you. You're going into your third season. First two interceptions last year. Congratulations on that. Right off the top, how you feeling? Where's your headspace at? What have you been up to this offseason to relax and recharge?
Man, first and foremost, man, the off season, like you said, is for to relax and recharge, man. I went back home, of course, Cali, man. I'm biased, but that's my favorite state. Second place is Atlanta, of course, but went back to the crib a little bit. Spent some time with my fam, travel a little bit, see the world, see a different side of things, and then went back to the grind, man. After all that, working a day in and day out, really just trying to win the day, and yeah, that's really it, man. Stay consistent in my craft, and not only that, just get better with what I do. Certain things that I seen on tape last year that I can improve on. Improve on those things. Second year in the system, so feel very comfortable. Stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
just keep your hands on my game no matter what. Can't really get complacent.
Yeah, don't worry. We're gonna get into that new system, but it's you say being from California, it's funny because I feel like every offseason there's two hotbeds of like training that happens. You get
Mhm.
the guys that fly out to California to work with everybody out there, and then you get guys that come here to Atlanta who are kind
Yeah.
of more from the southeast, SEC, Clemson
Mhm.
guy, like a lot of because Georgia's such a big recruiting hotbed. So,
Mhm.
do you interact more with your guys when you're out in California? How many are coming out to see you, or do you just kind of train on your own, or do you have a group of guys that you like to work with? And I should say, Ovi Mahaley is here with us now. Ovi, thanks for for hopping on. But Jalen, yeah, we're gonna get your question.
So basically, I'll go back home. I'll train with the same people I grew up training with. My father, my DB coach, Mike Scott, and I train at Proactive for strength and conditioning. So, I kind of, kept that, my routine, kept that same routine. A couple former players who play in the NFL, another professional sports and in the CFL and stuff like that. We all train together. It's my boy Nick, my boy George, everybody that I grew up with. We all still train together and are playing professionally right now. So, um, yeah, I kind of what I'm saying, stick to the routine. Still be in touch with my boys back. I'm saying, in Atlanta. What I'm
Hmm.
saying, everybody just sprays all out, especially in the off season. You don't really know where people are going. Some people may be in another country for a whole month. So like
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to keep up, but I keep up with my room, and whenever I'm in town or whenever I want to get a workout, like, hey, you in town? Let's get a workout in together, stuff like
yeah.
that, or so let's hang out, stuff like that. So
Let's kind of talk about the areas of your game that you have worked to improve.
mm,
Obviously, the ball hawking skills have always been there, so I think you're good to
yeah,
go in that area. That I think one of our favorite highlights. When you got drafted, obviously that huge one handed pick that you made. So you've got that natural ability, but like you said, getting more experience in the scheme in what they're going to ask you to do. What are some of the areas of your game that you specifically really worked on this offseason?
oh man, I worked on everything across the board. I became more explosive, stronger not only my legs, my upper body. Certain techniques that we learned from our coaches. Because it was having a coaching switch going from something you learn from your rookie year to
Hmm.
something completely new your next year. You kind of had to adjust and learn how they break things down and how we do certain techniques. Certain drops aren't the same. Certain things are different. Basically everything's the same thing, but the details are a tad bit are just a tad bit different. So I worked on those things, knowing how I do certain movements within the scheme and stuff like that. So I just made sure I worked on that just so it could become even more routine. And yeah, I'll say what I'm saying, I just work on everything, but like I hit certain spots where I
Yeah,
see
you make
from
it
the season
more muscle
move.
memory, right?
Yes.
It's so
Yeah.
because that was always DQ's big thing is we want to free these guys up mentally to just go play as fast as they can,
Yeah.
and that it just kind of comes with time. And I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
during my time covering the team, I would always go to Ricardo Allen after games, after practice or whatever, and just be like, I saw this on film. Am I seeing this correctly? Because it it takes so much. effort and attention to detail to properly understand the game, and we
Yeah,
want to talk about you guys in ways that gives you credit or holds you accountable. But in order to do that, you got to know what the hell is going on. Um,
exactly.
and so it is little things like your drop marker. It could be the way that you identify the receivers. And actually, that was one of my favorite, I think, post game quotes from last season you gave, and it was talking about, I believe it was an interception that you made against Miami, and you were just talking about how you noted that the running back had flexed out and was now the number one receiver, and the tight end was in the slot as the number two, and they like to run a kind of 7 route combination on that. You just read the quarterback's eyes, trusted your instincts, and went and made the play.
Mhm.
Can you give a little bit? Can you give fans a little bit of an idea of what your checkpoints, I guess, before the snap are on Sundays as a safety? Like, what are you looking for? What are you keying on? And what are you looking for throughout the week as kind of a group?
Yeah, I would say like, I think like as a group when you're studying different teams, I would say like you break it down. You don't break it down in bulk. You kind of go piece by piece. You start from 1st and 10 to about like, first and second down, third down, the red zone. You just move it just gets breaking down in increments.
Hmm.
That way, you can it's really situational, you know what I'm saying? Being smart with the situations in football. And then you kind of go even more into detail, players, personnel, um, down and distance. That's a big thing. So you start with the down and
Yeah.
distance, look at personnel, what are they in, where are certain key players we studied this week, where are they at. That has a lot to do with how a team, operates and runs a certain plays. Formations is a big thing, stuff like that. Anything that can help you get an extra tip. You're not going to know everything 100%, but having like little things that give you a jump on certain things helps out a lot. The rest is read and react and go play fundamentally sound football and go off what you know what I'm saying, know as a defender.
Yeah.
And then as you're playing in the game, you're playing the game within the game because you see what they're doing. You kind of catch on plays that you know they missed us on, but they'll go back to it the next quarter and try to hit it on us again. Just
Yeah.
certain things like that. You basically, the attention to detail is heavy. And you gotta constantly think. So you gotta give space for your mind to just do that while you're out on the field. You gotta be poised. I like to be turned up and loose because that's just me. I can't like I'm not really a uptight dude on the field, so but for the most part, though, you got to be poised and be aware, and that all comes from preparation.
Yeah, and it's why offensive coordinators are so like freaks about tendencies. Like they
Yeah,
do not want to have tendencies because
mhm,
that's what you guys are looking for.
yeah,
Um, all right, before we get back into kind of the nitty gritty of football, I got to ask you a couple of fun questions here. Do
yeah.
you and Jalen Mayfield ever argue about how to spell your name correctly? What is the
No,
proper spelling of Jalen?
I mean, like his parents got away, my parents had away. So like, like if they, what I'm saying, like me and Jalen from two different states, so I don't know how they spell it over there and wherever he's from, and
Yeah, but
you
yours
know.
is unique, man. His everybody has his spelling. You're one of a
I mean,
kind.
he unique though. That's my dog. Jalen hard. Jalen my dog. Jalen my dog. So we don't really, yeah, nah, we don't really argue about that. Everybody kind of either calls me Hawk or
Yeah.
Hawk. So Jalen got the name Jalen, I guess, on the team. But yeah, no, we don't argue about that. No, 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 no. We don't. I
All right,
haven't
that's
come
good.
to conflict with that. No, that's my dog. Be cool.
All right, what's your favorite meal in the cafeteria?
Oh, shoot. Not gonna lie, every day they be in there. Every day, I would say every day, man, 10 out of 10. I'm biased, but we have the best chefs, I think, best cooks. The ladies back there really work very hard. Some of the males as well. Steve does a very good job with us as far as nutrition and dieting goes. I'll say my favorite meal is breakfast because every morning I look forward to, what I'm saying, going in there and getting like either an egg sandwich that's just off the hook or getting French toast. The French toast is unbelievable. But I'm starting to eat more healthy compared to my rookie year because my rookie year I'm just over here getting like everything omelets,
Egg
I'm
whites
egg
only
white.
now.
egg whites, avocado toast, oatmeal, and I keep it simple now. But yeah, no, I was eating everything, omelets, you know what I'm saying, with a side of avocado, hash browns. It's just super good, and and yeah, it's just good. I can't complain too
I
much.
remember, I think reading a story, several years ago at this point, but it was basically, um, what offensive linemen when they retire and just the relief that they have to not have to stuff their face for forever. Like, I think some of the Browns offensive linemen, and Alex Mack obviously was a former Browns offensive lineman, but would go after practice after eating full meals, full everything at the end, go home and buy like 3 pizzas and take that home and eat like 3 pizzas and then ice cream and stuff. It's just like the amount that they have to eat. So I'd way rather be in your shoes and just be like, I'm gonna just skip the bacon today and maybe take it
Yeah, I don't
easy and get
have
a
to.
boiled egg.
Yeah,
you don't
I
have
don't have
to
to do that.
you don't have to stuff your face. All right, pop a shot or ping pong in the locker room. Which one you prefer?
Oh, everybody ping pong going crazy in the locker room. Everybody does that in the locker room. We have like a big old competition.
Who's the best player?
Oh,
It
I
used
don't
to be
know.
Julio.
Yeah, but we got a couple new players on this team that's really like going crazy in the ping pong. Q Allison good. Um, we got a new tight end. He's been running the table. I've seen OZ's good. Just from what I've been seeing, I don't participate.
Oh
I
yeah.
just go off what I see. I see who I see is on the table every day, going back and forth, yelling, screaming. Yeah, we got some balls. My boy Mike be in the tables. A couple coaches get in it. I don't really know who's the best, so I can't really speak on that. I just go off who I see, is yelling and screaming the most because I assume they're winning. You feel me? So
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah. So I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't
All
really
right.
know
Well, you're
who.
gonna have to keep track of that. And next time we have you on, you can report back with
Wait,
what you've learned.
sure,
But
for sure.
all right. So you know, you kind of transitioning into a new scheme, and it's very different from
Mhm,
it appeared what DQ and Raheem and those guys wanted to do, but they brought in Eric Harris and Deron Harmon last season, and I think a lot of people looked at safety and the loss specifically at that position. I mean, entire group gone except for you. And it was at once kind of the weakest part, but then they bring in all these guys, they draft Richie Grant, and it becomes kind of a position of strength. But I always thought that the reason they really brought in Eric and Duran was to help you guys understand, learn, get up to speed, and really
mhm.
they kind of knew what to expect from this scheme anyway. How big of a role did they play in your development and getting up to speed to play, pretty well at times last season, even though it was your first year in kind of a complicated, it seems, scheme?
Oh, new scheme. Man, E and Duran, them is my dogs, man. Like, them is really my brothers. Like, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, being back there with them and playing with them was like very good. Taught me a lot, man. I learned a lot from both. Also learned a lot of different, character building things. How to become a better leader. Seeing some of their routines, taking notes on what they do. How to keep their body right, and
Hmm.
even with the scheme, teaching me certain ways on how to be savvy within the scheme. Certain disguises, just little things. When I had questions, of course I'll talk to the coach, but I also talk to them. Like, okay, how do you see this, bro? If I did this or this, and they'd break it down to me and put me on game. It was really good having those two back there, man. And it's I miss dude, but he gonna hold it down where he at. And Eric is with us, so that's still solid. That's still my dog. We still chop it up. So they're very, very good people, and helping me within my development. They're my dogs.
Oh yeah, I mean players are honestly sometimes coaching even more than the coaches. Like
Oh
it
yeah.
you get because they're the ones out there really experiencing it.
Hmm.
You guys are able to talk a language and have a shorthand that really you only get when you kind of are in the thick of it. And that's awesome. I mean, it's great because they're obviously really good players and have
Hmm.
had really long careers in this league. But then, yeah, you mentioned it's so much about some of the things that aren't even really on the field, but impact so much of what happens on the field. It is like your study preparation, it's the habits, it's your off season and how you maintain and take care of your body and get
Hmm.
better while also getting ready for the season. So it's I think really smart that they brought all of those guys in there because hopefully, it not only impacted you, but will impact Richie Grant. And he's somebody
Yeah.
who, I think fans maybe hope to see a little bit more of Richie last year. it seems like not only given the veteran presence of Eric and Duran there, that allowed him to grow and develop, but it seemed like he was playing a big role on special teams. So, what did you see from him kind of last year that would give, that you would want to tell fans, why Richie could be maybe in line for a bigger season this year, or just like how is his development coming?
I was going good, man. I say all of us in the room, we grind every day, day in and day out. That's Richie, my dog. We close, man. Because we're close in age. I'm 1 year older in the league.
Yeah.
And he's a year under me. And the boys just been grinding, man. And I look for him to do, big things. And I just see him. I just see the way he works and to see the way he attacks this and approaches this. Ain't no telling what's gonna happen. My dog gonna be solid. And yeah, like the work he's just been putting in, how serious he takes it. He's a grinder and he's a baller too. So, yeah, good things. That's my dog,
All right.
like
Well, yeah. I
real.
mean, because he's got it. Like he's got the ability.
He a
We
baller, man.
clearly
That's what
saw it coming
he a
coming out of
baller.
college. So yeah,
Baller.
I'm really curious specifically about the safety position in Dean Pease's defense,
Mm-hmm.
and we saw the players that Dan Quinn really wanted in that role. You had, your big box safety in Kiki. You had, Ricardo, who was kind of multiple in a lot of ways, but then even Demonte Casey, like that true natured center fielder that would give you options. But how is this defense different? And specifically at the safety position, because yeah, everybody loves to just point it at Ed Reed, but it seems like Dean Pease, gets really high caliber of play out of his safeties and really puts a lot on their shoulders. Is
Mm-hmm.
is that true, or is that just, is that stuff that we're all kind of making up in the media? Like how could you explain your role in Dean Pease's defense, and maybe how it compares and contrasts to what you were asked to do previously?
I mean, Dean got an awesome defense. Both defenses are awesome, just a little bit different. I would say more in Dan Quinn is a little more stationary. Dean Pease, I mean, Dan Quinn's defense was more stationary as far as positioning, more of a single role,
Hmm.
whereas I get into this defense and I'm playing multiple roles, left or right, in multiple areas of the field. I'll say that's the biggest difference. And, certain schemes, of course, are different. Yeah, just the way they run things are different. So, yeah, that's all I say. Yeah.
And that's important, because it really kind of can confuse, I guess, the quarterback's keys and what he's
Yeah.
looking for when he lines up there. He's
Mhm.
mostly looking at the safeties, single high, two high, middle field open, closed, all that. But then
Mhm.
late rolling, who's going to the space, like kind of all of that stuff. So
Mhm.
that interchangeability puts a lot on your shoulders, but it really should pay off in a huge way because you're kind of psychologically messing with the most important person on the
Yes.
field. Is that
Yes.
that's kind of the point of this?
Yeah. That and just to, what I'm saying, give the freedom for everybody in the defense to make plays, man. Not just us, the things that we do tie into what other people do. And, what I'm saying, affect, the defense as a whole. So, everybody just has to do their 111. And, it's about the defense as a whole making plays and the defense as a whole being good,
Hmm.
because one area can't just be good and you can't have other areas in the defense just be average. So like, if everybody operates and does their 111, that's how the defense functions, and it allows, good things to happen out there, good third down stops, splash plays, interceptions, stuff that helps us win football games.
Yeah, I mean, it's whether or not you're gonna maintain the edge or try to slip inside of a block to make the tackle, but then you
Mm-hmm.
give up that the outside essentially, and it's maybe your role is to funnel it back. Yeah, at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes perfect sense. But somebody who you know very well, being in the same draft class, AJ Terrell. I mean, massive season last year. Like, how cool was it to see him have the season that he had, get the recognition and the respect nationally that he deserves? And I mean, do you think he's close to his ceiling here? Or how much better could this dude
My
get?
dog ain't got a hit. I don't even know if the homie got a peak. I'll be eating. What I'm saying, extremely hard worker, a dog on the field, approaches the game like no other, goes out there and handles his biz. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to see my dog flourish and see him doing what he's doing, man. It's just real dope, especially coming in with him and especially in his hometown. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
that's a big deal and a big thing. And yeah, I feel like sky the limit for my bro. Honestly,
Yeah, I mean, he's among that group that is here in Atlanta working hard all off season. But yeah, he's kind of emerging. Seems like not only as a star player, but from reports, a leader inside of the locker room. I mean, how how intentional was this new staff and some of the veteran players that they brought in last offseason in setting kind of a new culture, in defining kind of new leadership? We see the changes, of course, in personnel in the roster and faces, come and go on the field and everything. But
yeah.
so much of what happens in kind of that first year and establishing a new culture happens internally. So
Mhm.
how did that go last year? And what is are you guys closer to really getting that type of culture of competitive accountability
Sure.
that Arthur Smith really wants?
Yeah, for sure. We're on our way. Last year was just a start. Like I said, sky's the limit for us. We got a real good strength and conditioning staff. They're doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? That also is a big part of changing the culture, as well as our coach, is implementing things where we can, compete more, do a lot more stuff. You know what I'm saying? Making sure we're just well conditioned, going hard. Just a lot of good stuff, just to shift that culture and, lead us to winning games.
What are some of the things that he's kind of put in to increase that competition? Like I know a big thing DQ loved to do was the basketball shooting,
Yeah,
the free
yeah,
throws, kind of in the team meeting room. Is there an example like that
yeah.
Arthur has brought in here to kind of get
Also,
get you to think in the way he wants you to?
also like competition in practice, either
Okay.
competitions in special teams drills, competition on 7-on-7 drills, competition, within the team period, you know what I'm saying? Defense win, offense hit push ups, offense win, defense hit push ups, stuff like that. Stuff like that. So it's fun.
Oh yeah, man. Throwback. People are gonna love that.
So,
uh,
just it's fun stuff. Just be a competitive nature and coach also wants us to be very smart. So, he wants us to
mhm.
be very aware out there on the field, no situational football, stuff like that, So the
Yeah,
culture
it's
shift is great.
it's crazy how like much like everybody in the NFL, coaches and players approach the game situationally first, and how fans like we don't think about it that way. You just follow the
Mhm.
ball around. But if you kind of sit there and you're like, all right, it's 3rd and 7, probably not going to run a fullback like power right here.
Right, right.
Like they're probably
Premise.
going to throw the ball. And so yeah, I mean, they harp on it all the time during the practice week. Red zone
Mhm.
period, full days, just 2 minute drills, things like that. So that's
Mhm.
really interesting. Kind of before as we start to wrap this up, Jaylinn, there's been a lot of talk, I guess, externally, um, about whether you want to call it a rebuild or a turnaround, or kind of like the growing phase that hopefully leads to something better. However you want to phrase it. Yeah, but we know that you guys are professionals and competitors, and you want to go out there to win, and you're not
Mhm.
going to tank. Like that's you cannot tell a locker room full of grown men, hey, like go out there and we're going to lose, because you guys want to put the best film out there. You want to go win. You want to prove to yourself, to everybody that you belong here. All of that stuff matters.
Mhm. Mhm.
So how do you guys talk about the external noise, and how do you kind of stay focused, stay, in the right mindset to then actually go out there and have a season like last year where you surprised a lot of people? The 7 wins wasn't supposed to be on the table, but clearly it was definitely within your reach. And I think you guys are even capable of more this year, even though it feels like a lot of people externally are saying that you're taking a step back for a year before really going all in. What is your mindset, and what's the mindset in the locker room approaching this season?
The biggest mindset is, not to worry about the externals because that's kind of poison.
Mhm.
A lot of people are going to say a lot of things. The media says a lot of things. The whole mindset is basically just to win the day. And that's how I take the approach to this is, by going in there, working hard, you know, doing my 1 in 11, being accountable, as well as my teammates out there. We all being accountable for each other and just going out there and putting our best foot forward and just getting better day by day and let the results be the results.
Yeah, focus on going 1-0 each day, then
Yep,
1-0 each week, and there you
That's
go.
it. That's it.
All right, man. I see a speaker behind you.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. You in a studio? What's up?
Yes. Yeah, I'm in the stu. Yeah, I'm in the studio. Yeah, I'm in the studio. It's my little in-home studio. Not bad. Still getting put together, but yeah, I'm in here. You know,
Hey, it's better than mine.
I don't say you got the world behind your back. That's I
It's
like
it.
that. You got
It's
the
better
world.
than mine. Still getting set up, but yeah. I mean, so you create music. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I do the
Where'd you learn how to do that? Has that always been an interest of yours?
I always have been an interest. My dad actually makes beats. He, I'm saying, grew up making beats and stuff like that. I was introduced to it, when I was younger, and I always wanted to do it. And then one day I got a laptop, and put FL Studio. And then when I was in high school, I was like, so excited, start messing around with it. Did it throughout college. It was a way for me to, get my mind away and just be at peace. And so, I get here, I get drafted here, Atlanta, great city for music. We all
Yeah.
know, what I'm saying? We got the air, we got the, Atlanta guy, I got it. And, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make an in-home studio, what I'm saying, for myself, a place where I could just get away, relax, make some music, stuff that's good for the ears. And, yeah, whoever want to beat can get a beat, So basically, I'll do stuff like that, and it's just fun, what I'm saying. It's a fun hobby.
So, being from California, you
Yeah.
more West Coast like style music, or have you come to love the Southern style down here?
I mean, everybody love Atlanta music, but I'm West Coast till I die. Like, let's be real. I'm playing West Coast bangers, but at the same time, I'm playing Atlanta bangers because I love Atlanta music too. So I love both. I say I'm a music guy all around. I'm not biased to anything. I would
You like it
say,
all.
yeah, anything that make my head nod. You feel me? If I'm not in my head like this, I'm like, okay, I like this.
There
So
you
I'm not
go.
really biased to, like, I like a large genre of music.
Nice. I There's a documentary on HBO called The Defiant Ones that it's basically like the rise of Dr. Dre and like how he's
Mhm.
influenced music and a lot of the really popular stuff kind of throughout the 2000s. Like it's a 4-part documentary that starts,
Nice.
um, basically with him just growing up and doing all of that, and then one episode's like introduces Eminem and how he discovers Eminem, and it's this whole thing, and then like how they invented Beats by Dre. Like it's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. You should definitely check it out.
This is still on HBO?
I think it is. I hope
I
it
hope
is.
so. I hope so. I'll watch it tonight.
Yeah,
What I'm
dude,
saying?
it's really
I
really
really
good.
wanna watch that. Wow, you just gave me
It's
something to watch.
it's really good. So who controls the sticks in the locker room?
As far as
Music. Like do you
uh,
ever
I'll play some here and there, but I'm far away from the aux. I said my boy Q Allison be playing a lot. Whoever's over in that area plays the music. I'm away from the
Okay.
speaker.
They
But
still play that Friday song on
yep,
Fridays?
all day is Friday. During the season, though, during the season. That's a
Yeah, that was
that's a season anthem. That's a little season anthem.
there you go. Always gets you in the right mood for the weekend. But
Man,
all right, Jalen, we're gonna let you get out of here. It was awesome having you on to talk to the fans,
appreciate
talk to me. Best of luck to you this season. Definitely, you've got a number one fan in me now
I
after
got you.
this talk. So take care, buddy. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we let you go?
I just appreciate everybody that's supporting the squad, man. That's it. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
All right,
Thank
man. Thanks again for hopping on.
God bless. Thank you, man.